Hello. I don't know how or why that shut off when it did. I don't think I even touched my computer, and I did not mean for it. But you know what? I was about up to here with that cha 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 cha, and I need to de stress. And I didn't have anything with me to do the kind of de stressing I wanted to do, but I do now. And one of the things that I have is I have a candle that is on a little container thingy here that hopefully this won't uh, get knocked over or anything stupid like that. I'm trying to think. I don't want to disrespect my altar by setting it on there. I don't want it to knock over on my computer either. But you know what? I guess I'll put it on my and see if you can see any of this. You know what? You're not going to be able to see any of this. I'm going to put this on one of these. Okay. Oh, one of the problems with my home is all the uh, makeup with glitter. Hello, Rydazzle. Hello. I got bounced off earlier when I was where the church stuff is. I came back in here because I wanted to do something that's illegal in some states. I've got something that involves de-stressing. I need to get some cut up pieces of used paper plate. Uh, Thank you. This is actually the dress. I just wanted to look a little bit different than. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love the stockings, even though they got runs in them. If you see some of them are blue, some of them are purple, but they are like a tiger or zebra stripe. But this is the actual dress. It's got an interesting empire waist. So instead of it going forming the way the body really normally would, it goes like this. I suspect this is actually a children's dress, really. But I saw the color on it and it otherwise fits. And again, I saw the color and okay, I saw it like this shirt here. This shirt is a good bit too big, but I love the colors. I love, 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 love the colors. So I saw this, and sometimes when I see clothes, I don't get a chance to see if they're going to fit. I see them, I take them, because they're not. I don't usually a lot of these clothes I'm not finding in stores. Okay, I find them in big piles, and I see something that spots, I catches my eye, or and yeah, maroons, burgundies, especially if you have pops of pink to make it so that they have light to them. Because I find if you just have these dark colors and you have them with black, sometimes unless you have enough light, you don't realize the color. Like I'll show you a skirt that'll show totally illustrate that point. I love this skirt, okay, but up close you can see what it really is. It's black lace over this gorgeous color. And this skirt means a lot to me because when I was still living in California and I was going through a really rough time with this abusive relationship, bad boyfriend number two, I had a roommate when I was living near the La Brea tar pits. And I had this one of my roommates was this. I had really great roommates, but one of them in particular was this girl. She was a crackhead, and she had such a good heart. And anyway, she gave me this skirt, and I've had it. So I've had this since the '90s. I've had this skirt a long time, and I love clothes. And if I have something I love, I will wear it until it falls apart. And luckily, this doesn't have any spandex in it, which can snap and dry rot and break. And I hate it when that happens to clothes. But I'm doing the stream in part today because I really feel bad that I lost internet capability on my computer Sunday night. I feel pissed off about that. I missed 3 days worth of posting because of that, and I'm not happy with that. It's always the tech things that screw me up. Now, I've got an iPad here that I can't figure out what to do with. I might be getting some help with that next week. Let's see. But on to the business at hand. If you're offended by uh, wanton, rampant, unrepentant displays of cannabis use, please turn your head. If you've got kids, don't let them watch. My channel is not to use to babysit your children because sometimes I don't always think before I open my mouth. Sometimes I say things that not everybody thinks is appropriate. Sometimes I express opinions that not everybody agrees with, and I don't want to cause problems for families, and I don't want to corrupt the lives of the youth of America or any place. Neba 29, hi. Welcome to my channel. I was about to do an act that's illegal some places. Maybe I should turn my head so I don't freak anybody out. I mean, if you had to live above all these churches, how would you deal? Okay, I know there's always self control. I'm back, but with any luck, the new children's tablet that I ordered off of Wish.com will come in a couple of weeks. And so I'll have some backup equipment that I'll be able to use to film with. And I don't know. I'm wondering if I should get a steel frame backpack. I'm really mad. I ordered a really good high tech, well, good being operative, good cheap backpack with certain tech capabilities. It was supposed to help you charge your tech and have a special sleeve to protect laptops and cell phones and all that stuff. And all they wanted was shipping. It was like $7 or $8, and it gave you a little tiny bit of a discount if you used a MasterCard. So I asked my mom if she would be willing to use her MasterCard, and I gave her the cash. I ordered this thing, and this was 2 years ago, and I never got it. And you know what? Something like that would really come in handy for this trip I'm planning on, which I have some videos coming up. I think I have 11 videos in the can that I filmed just since the Academy Awards. So, yes, I'm still planning that California trip. One of the holdups is now I don't know if I'm going to make it for 420. Because what's the sense in if there's probably going to be a whole lot of activities there, but you're going to need ID, which I don't have. Maybe I can get ID there. Um, But there's so many things I need to do there, primarily my storage. I need to take care of that. And I would rather rough it to be staying really, really, by staying, I mean sleeping, really, 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 really close to where I need to be, rather than say I got free housing, but I would end up having to take a whole bunch of buses, which would mean I'd have to get a bus pass, and I don't know what that's going to cost me. Uh, I would, if I can have things where everything's within walking distance, except for when I have to go to Burbank, I have to go to Cenex because I have to correct my name with the records. I've lived in San Francisco before and I really loved it there, but I was there. I started going there when there was an earthquake that happened that interrupted a World Series, and I was a stage dancer in Hollywood, California at the time. And when this earthquake happened, it was October 17th, 1989. I probably shouldn't be saying this because now you're going to think I'm an old hag now. But anyway, I was uh, at that 1989 earthquake. Okay. Shortly after this earthquake happened, the club that I was dancing at closed its doors, and I remained friends with a lot of the dancers there. And some of them I was occasionally roommates with. And so there were these other people that I sometimes stayed with that wanted to go to San Francisco to buy a ferret. Because at the time in California, ferrets were against the law. I don't know if they still were. And they were all vegetarians, all these people involved. And I'm not, by the way, even though I will eat vegetarian food sometimes, but I don't, that's not part of my moral compass, even though maybe some of you think it should be. So anyway, I happened to have a car at the time. I had a Dodge Daytona Turbo Z. I loved that car. The only car I ever had. A bad boyfriend ended up stealing the car, so don't have it anymore. But it was a hatchback, red, because that was the only color really that was available. If I could have found a purple car, I would have. But we went up from Hollywood, California to San Francisco where they were buying a ferret from these vegetarian people. And I am a practitioner of various occult arts and stuff. And at the time, we meaning me and the two roommates that were going up to there, we were all speed freaks at the time. So we were doing amphetamines, right? Well, we were also into quartz crystals, and you can use them to amplify thought patterns, and you can help them you're working toward certain things. And when you're driving, you obviously want to be safe. You don't want any accidents and you don't want any encounters with police. Am I right? And the earthquake had just happened 2 weeks prior. So some of where I was going, I was taking the 5 freeway for part of it. And then I would have to switch over to get closer to the Bay Area. And so the 101 was part of it too. And I'm crossing over the 405. And I remember around where the wine country is, I crossed over from the 5, veered over. I forget exactly how exactly I did this. But anyway, I we all held quartz crystals in our hands, concentrating on two things: no police and no accidents. And I went so ungodly fast. I was going between 105 and 115 miles an hour because I had a sports car and I finally got to take it out. There was not too many people on the road. And I'm not proud of this. I hope you don't think that I'm glorifying reckless driving, which it definitely was. And God forbid I had crashed. So, we don't want to think about that. But we got there safely. We got there in like 4.5 hours. But I don't I will never ever do that again. I don't condone that kind of behavior. Um, and but we got there really quickly. But I got the thrill out of my system. Now, if I ever want to go fast again, I will go over a licensed track where they give you the race car experience because I realize you should never do that in the open road. And I will also make the observation that whenever you go more than 85 miles an hour, your gas consumption like triples. It really does. But the quartz crystals really do work. I notice I'm going real fast, so people just moved out of the way. And how I never got seen by police, I don't know. But we got the ferret up there, and I got to get acquainted with San Francisco. And of course, it was my first time in San Francisco, and I loved it. And fast forward a couple of years when I went on tour with the Grateful Dead, I got dropped off in San Francisco. And I lived there. This started my real love affair with San Francisco, where I would live for about 5 months out of the year, starting in the middle 90s. And I was living on the streets most of the time when I was out there. And it was when it was fun to do so, when it was like being like a slumber party under the stars, uh, in a park or some area right in the city, in Center City itself. But now, so much of what I see with the crack pipes and the needles and the human waste and the theft and the violence, that was not my experience there. Yes, people were partying, but it was a slumber party for grown-ups. And but now now in Los Angeles, I heard about the uh tent cities and stuff there, and that's going to break my heart. Okay, I'm reading some of the comments here. Makeup with Glitter says, "You don't deserve to live in those conditions, Leather. I hope you get out of that apartment soon and go to California, although California isn't doing all that great these days." That's right. That's the thing. California is not doing that great. And I feel really kind of pissed off in my mother. I would love to take her out there with me for good. She would get the best medical care out there. And if I could score housing for the two of us, but she does not want to leave New Jersey. She does not want to leave. It's familiar to her. Keep in mind, my mother does not go out at all. The only time she goes out is to her doctors. Okay? And she has to go to a bus stop with her walker that has a seat there. She has to plod along. She walks like molasses in January. I'm going to be worried about her when I go out there just to make the errands that I have to run. It's going to be a tease for me because I'm going to allow like 2 weeks to deal with my storage, and I'm going to give an additional week for me to go to clubs, go. I want to go to Hare Krishna temples and eat their wonderful food and chant and dance around. And I got some nice Indian outfits I can bring for that. I want to run into friends. I don't know who's even still alive anymore. And my BFF, who I love a lot, but her husband has Parkinson's disease. And I'm not going to, she was somebody who I used to show up on their doorstep whenever say I was in a home invasion in a squat that I was in, and I had a knife left to my throat, and I escaped and I needed a place to stay. She was a person who I would show up many times. But you know what? Life goes on, and once people start either getting in relationships, or people start with health problems, or they're in a relationship with somebody with a health problem, they're not going to have time to drop what they're doing to take care of you. And you can't depend on the people, even if they were your best friends, you cannot rely on them. Sometimes when things are tough, you're really going to find out that maybe sometimes you need to meet new people, because there's situations where you obviously don't have the wherewithal to do things totally by yourself, and especially when money is an object. If I had a cell phone, I could maybe book a lower cost Airbnb someplace where I wouldn't have to worry about my safety. But then, like I said, that's a lot of money that, you see, I got to deal with my storage. And I'm thinking that all these ways of saving money is because they keep on jacking us every month. I can't afford the storage thing. And my mother's stressing out about things. She has to pay insurance premiums for her health insurance, and her health insurance is pretty crappy compared to some people's. Uh, um, okay, most of my clothes are actually packed up. What I have hanging up is not a lot of my clothes. Hold on a second, my sinuses are really going bad, and I'm going to need to blow my nose. I wish I had real nice looking walk-in closets because I love to show my clothes, but right now a lot of my clothes are in big bags to protect them from We have some kind of moths in the house now that I would hope they wouldn't be the kind of moths that eat fibers on clothes, but I don't wear wool because wool itches me. So that's I think the only thing that I know moths would eat. Got a whole bunch of clothes on my bed just because I need to find places to put things. Speaking of clothes in my closet, uh, one of the things I do to organize my clothes to protect them, like those Indian tunics, some of which I showed in some of the fashion shows, some of the, and some that you probably haven't seen because they were before I did that fashion show. I got one of those garment bags at the dollar store, and this is the full length one. They have two sizes of them. They have the suit kind that only goes to about here, and then they have the dress kind. And I guess you're supposed to put one per dress. And I have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight or so in here. And so I can put these and actually hang them up. I have one of these that has a whole bunch of business suits in it. And by a whole bunch, I mean, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 maybe. I actually have a suit collection. I have big shoe boxes that are full of actually long sleeve shirts that are in hangers and rolled up and folded, and I have tape all around them so vermin can't get in them. Because I find that the mice will get in at the packing. Like if I have statues and I have them wrapped in paper to protect them, and I have them in boxes, a mouse will get in and they will chew up the paper to use to make bedding or whatever for their nests. And then my clothes that for years I've been protecting in the front room, I have to worry about the mice biting holes in the bottom. And if they get into a bag, they poop and they pee on your clothes. And that really pisses me. Okay, we'll talk some clothes here. This is one closet, but this is not what I consider my working closet. A lot of these, some of these are things that I need to wash by hand because washing by hand is how I have to do things. And the small little things, the outfits I wear that are like the crop tops and the stuff, those things are easy enough to wash because they don't weigh anything and you could put a bunch of them in a big basin of soapy water. But if you're talking about things like sweatpants, sweatshirts, long sleeve shirts that are really big, things that are heavy things, blue jeans. Those things are a real pain to wash. And in finding places to hang them, a lot of things I end up hanging drip dry in my mother's bedroom. Some things I hang up in the grow room. You've seen that messy setup. But I actually have a bit of a system to this that the left hand side is where I would have sequin things and whatever. But I actually have a box. Let me see. I'm trying to have this not look so messy. I guess there's no way for me to my house looking messy, right? But you know, but there's nothing I can do. Okay, I can't take care of my mother, take care of different rooms in this house, clean everything. I there's only one of me. There's only one of me, and it's really hard to do everything. Uh, Oh, washing towels. You wash a towel by hand? How are you going to do something like that? This, I'm not looking forward to washing this. I'm going to have to wear this a couple times. Uh, okay, I have to be careful with this because this is the tail end of that black sparkly gown that I wanted to wear a couple of days ago, but I didn't want it to drag on the carpet. Okay, these would be where the sparkly things would be. Uh, this is something I've never worn before. This is a bodysuit. I really like the shoulders on this. And it's velvet though, so it's getting to be out of the season to wear it. It also has a cowl neck. It's a dress that I only wore for Y2K. Remember during Y2K when everybody was afraid that the world might come to an end, and they didn't know if their electronics were going to turn over for the year 2000. And it was during one of those rare times when I was actually getting along with the other person that I live with, who is also a family member. We lived three apartments ago, and this was when I was only coming to New Jersey for Christmas holidays, but I was in California full time. And anyway, we were staying up till midnight waiting to see if the world was going to end. And I wore this dress. And how I got this dress, there's a story behind it. I got this at a yard sale in West Hollywood for $5. It's a Jessica McClintock. And I always am about 5 pounds too big from zipping it up all the way. But it hits me at like ankle length, so it doesn't drag on the ground. And when you're a short person, it's hard finding things that don't drag on the ground. And I've never understood trains because you want to keep them clean. And most people, they dry clean their formal wear. Can you imagine? This drives me crazy. I can understand if you're on the beach or you're on the grass, but if you got a wedding dress or a gown or something, you're going to drag it on the ground, on that filthy, disgusting ground. And you can understand, I don't want to get on my floor. I'm convinced when we finally move out of here, they're going to pull up the carpet. I think they're going to burn them. I mean, really, my cats died on my floor. And, you know, they didn't go quietly into that dark night. You know what I'm saying? You've seen this. This would be a skating skirt, or if I did gymnastics or something, which I'm not a gymnast. But I mean, I could do a few things, but I would certainly love to take some training in that. But I wore this in a video with Garfield. Uh, love this. Oh, some of these hangers, other clothes hook onto them. That's really annoying. Oh, this is the dress that I have worn before. But this I actually pinned up because I don't care for the actual length. I like certain lengths. I really find them easier for me to accessorize. a lot of these dresses are longer than I really love. They're not long, but they're not short enough for me to get that silhouette I like with the stockings. My go-to sparkly red dress. I've worn this New Year's Eve out with my father. Uh, you can layer black fishnet shirts underneath this if it's really cold. I love you can wear this with Christmas stuff. You can wear this just anytime you want to wear red. The only thing is that I tied these straps up like this to get it the short length I like. It originally was about 3 or 4 inches longer, and it was a stupid length that I don't care for on me, especially when you're shorter. You need hemlines to be a little bit shorter as well. Otherwise, things it throws the proportions off. Scene. This is so big, but you can tie the this, and this is another one of these empire waist things that goes right here, cups you at the end of your bosom, and then and this is like an extra large or something, but it's got the sparkly things. Do you see? Okay. So the stuff up here isn't as dressy. Now, I want to do something else involving me before the thing totally runs out. Oh, you want to see my voodoo doll? This I bought at the Tropicana in a gift shop uh, over 10 years ago. And for a specific purpose, I was having problems with a certain individual that I wanted to not run into them anymore. And you know what? This little thing was like about $3, chased the bad person away. Really did. Don't anybody tell me these voodoo dolls don't work. And this is not something I had to make myself, taking snippets of hair and nails or whatever. This was just something that I bought out of a gift shop that's intended to be a toy. But if it helps you feel better about yourself and helps with any aspect of your life, that it's not a bad thing. That's how they market these things. This did not harm anybody. This shielded me from running into somebody that was harassing me. A bad, creepy, annoying guy. Got him out of my hair. These things work. I'm going to let you look at him. He's a cute little guy. I don't know if you're supposed to name him or what, but it was the cutest. There was like 20 different kinds of them, and I thought it was really cute. Well, where did I set the? the I just said, oh, here. Take a look. You guys over 21? Not going to narc me off, are you, for glorifying? I'm not glorifying anything. If anything, I'm saying, you know what it's like to be living where things are so loud that you and your family can't just relax and enjoy the fact that we have a home. I mean, what's the whole point of having a home where your key fits in a door and you could turn on TV, turn on radio, turn on whatever. Most people can do that in their homes. And the outside, the inside, the inside. So we want to enjoy things that most people get to do because when they live in a home. And you've got this. Oh, now the drumming's starting. You got a drummer. Um, I may need to brew a pot of coffee to help with the sinus. I've been taking. There's this thing. Um, I think Zyrtec is the non-generic name, but the actual chemical. I'm trying to think of the name of it, but anyway, you can get them at Dollar Trees. Jinx, how you doing? As soon as I catch your buzz off of this, I'm going to take you back down to my church hell. See, I don't want to take a chance of smoking there and then having somebody, not everybody in this building partakes, okay? And one of the lay preachers, one of the lay, there are some people who might not appreciate this, okay? And then there's people who do totally different things, you know. Around here, there's lots of people that have their drug of choice. Could be crack, it could be heroin, it could be all these things, which I would not want any part of any of those things. You know, the only thing that could possibly tempt me would be MDMA. You know, especially if, like, say Matthew McConaughey was single and he said, "Hey, I got some X party. Hey, hey, hey. Well, all right, all right, all right." But nah, he's a family man, and anyway, I'm just talking a little bit of shit, but you know what I'm saying. I still haven't watched Dallas Buyers Club yet. I actually have a DVD disc that I won as a free prize during one of the Golden Nugget Flashback Fridays that was sponsored by a local radio station. And I was going to stick it in the disk drive of one of my computers. But of course, this particular computer does not have a disk drive. There's optical drive, so there's nothing to stick a disk in. That also means that, like, I have this. It's supposed to be. It's glasses and it's supposed to film video and stuff, but it has a disk that you're supposed to stick in the computer, and of course, there's nothing to stick the disk in. And I never figured out how to use it. And the thing is, the only way people could see me is if I did it filmed in front of a mirror. And I wouldn't want to do it in front of this messy house because, I've gotten a couple comments about how messy my kitchen is. And the thing is, there's not enough people to clean it. My mother would be cleaning that, and she falls asleep half the time. And of course, you could say it shouldn't be her responsibility, but I shouldn't have to do everything. Oh. Oh, the chick's really yelling vociferously to her flock downstairs. I'm gonna grab tissue. Back. Oh, now the man's yelling downstairs. All right. I'm sorry about that. My sinuses are an ongoing thing. I'm going to take this off here. I don't want this to be part of the decoration. Anyway, this is just something else that I don't know if I'm going to keep this dress. I'm starting to get bored with the print, but it's actually red and navy blue. And if you look real closely, there's what looks like a salmon color, and there's two different shades of blue. There's not just a navy blue, but there's a brighter, lighter blue also. But I'm starting to get tired of it, and I'm thinking I may end up passing it on. You know, because I do have a lot of clothes. I like clothes. That's the thing. When I think about fitting clothes into the school bus that I want to get to live in, and everything I watch and read about people living on the road, they all downsize their wardrobe. They're very minimalist people, and I intellectually I understand why you have to. The heavier a vehicle is, the more gas is going to cost, and plus there's a space factor. But that said, I love my stuff. I love clothes. I love having options. I love how every new video I make, I change my wardrobe. That's why I started to cover up the top of this with this so that I look different in this live stream a little bit than I did in the one that got cut off. Let me tie this because I want you guys to hear. I really like to bring the bowl down, but now I don't want to smoke up the stairwell and get into it with somebody. Plus, it's going to make me look like an asshole when because I understand that not everybody that watches me approves of what I have to say and what I'm doing, and I don't want repercussions. You know what I mean? I keep on hoping that by the time you see some of my videos, I will have moved away by then. And then once I move away, then there's things that I was afraid to post that maybe I'll post that just give a sense of atmosphere of just how interesting things are. Because I'm not trying to rain on any particular person's parade. I just don't want to be fucked with. That's the whole point. These things, how what they're putting us through, how would it feel where I don't know where they live if their peace and sanctity of their home was invaded, because that is what this all feels like. It's an invasion. And where are all these churches coming from anyway? So much is going on. And I know pastors and preachers and all that, they have a network where they socialize, and maybe they have message boards on the internet where they find out, now I'm going to start a church, and I'm looking for a storefront somewhere who has something to rent me out. And if you're paying however much it is a month to rent out a space, you want to get use out of that space. I understand that. But when you're doing these things in mixed use neighborhoods where it affects residential people, and so many people hide behind the fact that they're clergy, have any kind of clergy kind of thing, people are going to give you respect. They're going to give you a sense of fear, a sense of, I don't want to fuck with this person. They're a man or woman of God. So people tend to put a lot of trust in people that run churches. And we all know that they can do a lot of good in the world, helping people and stuff. I'm not saying they don't, and I don't want to seem like a hypocrite because I'll take free sandwiches from uh, church soup kitchen and have Los Angeles. There are lots of churches that I've been the recipient of sustenance. The Starving Actors Breakfast in West Hollywood. My goodness, that was Anglican church that did that. I wonder if they're still doing that. That was one of the few times when, see, I was so worried. This was before the internet as we know it. You didn't have to worry about your scenes being mixed. I could be sleeping in my car, okay, and I'd still be going to the Rainbow Bar and Grill and potentially rubbing elbows with rock stars and things. And of course, at the time, you hope and hoping that nobody that wasn't going through what you were going through would know what you were going through. That was what we were all afraid of. Nobody wanted to be found out. You're holding this deep, dark secret. I'm going to this club hoping to run into David Lee Roth or Alice Cooper or Eddie Van Halen or the guys from Kiss, or the guys from Aerosmith, or the guys from Rat, or the guys from the '80s hair metal bands, especially. And meanwhile, there is this girl who I knew through. Okay, I'm going to set this as a long story for you. At the time, I was also going on auditions for titty bars and stuff, and I knew this girl. There's this thing that sometimes girls can be paid who are pregnant already and find themselves in trouble. That instead of having an abortion, families who want a child, couples will pay her to go through the pregnancy, and they'll pay her medical and pay her rent and all this shit. And I had met at one of these. I had a hostess bar job where I met this girl who was pregnant, who was, oh no, yeah, I had this hostess bar job, and I had been hassled by some girls because of my appearance with my purple hair and stuff. And there's something about the hair under my armpits or something. They made an issue about that because I chose not to shave it. Because when you're a redhead, first of all, you don't look hairy to begin with. Second of all, why? Shave to me, I always thought shaving your armpits is kind of ridiculous for men or women, and for women to be expected to do that. I never bought into that. So anyway, she tried to make an issue about it, and when she did, I said, "Guess what? Keep on bringing this up. I'll dye one side green, one side purple. Then give a bitch something to complain about." She shut up about that. Well, what ended up happening is she got pregnant out in wedlock, and so she got her medical expenses and all the stuff to have a baby. Okay, apparently some low-level rock band had stayed in that apartment and had left their stuff there, and they didn't pay back rent or something, so they were holding band stuff to get the rent. And I didn't know that. And anyway, I happened to be in that apartment, and the guys wanted to get their stuff, so I gave them their stuff as any nice person would. And anyway, this one girl who was best friends with the pregnant girl who was being paid all this money to have a baby, basically was really mad at me because I had done this. Of course, she threatened to out the fact that I was otherwise sleeping in my car to all these people that were going to the Rainbow Bar and Grill. And keep in mind, this was hair metal sunset strip time when image was everything, and the last thing you wanted to flaunt was your poverty when you're hanging out in places where the celebrities go, where the bands go and stuff. And there I am sleeping in my car, this big, deep, dark secret. I was literally living in my car, finding places to park, deserted parking lots in the industrial parts of West Hollywood and stuff, hoping nobody sees me, using that thing you put in the front of your windshield that cools it off and kind of shades it, and the other side says "help me," so you got to make sure what side it is. And I would curl up usually in the back seat, and I had these bucket seats in the front, but the back it was more comfortable. I could stretch out. Well, when you're short, you can easily stretch out even in a sports car. And it had a hatchback. It was a Dodge Daytona Turbo Z. I love that car. But yeah, I just never wanted to be seen going through the struggle, and especially if a hot attractive person from the clubs knew. Oh my goodness. Every now and then, you know, I met somebody cute and went off in the sunset with them and stuff. But really, very few people knew the struggle except for other people, and that's how you liked it. I can't imagine trying to keep it a secret now. With the internet, everybody, somebody could sneak who doesn't like you could sneak a picture of you curled up in the back seat of your car and threaten, tell everybody. People are mean. It's 9:57. I'm going to take this back to where we were. I'm taking my keys in case somebody tries to lock me up, because I don't trust these sons of bitches. Ooh. Oh. Now, let's start. I want you to see that this isn't just this stairwell, that this is. Let's start at the kitchen, okay? Am I baked? As close to baked as I'm going to be, I suppose. Okay. This is my mom's room. Do you guys hear it? Do you hear this? Taking my time. Uh, it's just, uh, oh, yeah. I don't notice the loudspeaker at least. You know what? There's supposed to be a light up here. The higher one here, so you feel safe before them down the steps. It's a good thing that light on. Imagine if it wasn't. We've had times where there was no light on there at all. You literally had to feel along the walls so you didn't fall going down the steps. Whenever there's no other apartment, when it's just vacancies, then they don't have a light up there at all. That's gotta be a code violation. But you want to know something? This building is a walking code violation. And if they knew how bad it looked on the inside, we could get kicked out and not have a place to go. And that's why I can't show you nice closets of beautifully organized possessions, because I have so many of my things in plastic bags. That might not be in my house. Where did you hear it? Was it in my room, my house, or was it here? Because we probably do need to replace some. I actually took a couple down and put them in the stairwell, which I know is not smart to do, but it was just I can't deal with that jerk. Actually, I'm not the one that usually does that. The other person who lives with me, he'll take something. Say I burn something in on my stove. Probably has dropped or so, all I know. So if something's in his room, I don't have access to it, you know. And he's got a hair trigger temper because he's on those psych meds. You know, people that are on those meds, you don't want to upset him. I try to just stay out of his way. That's what I do with anybody that I have. But you know, when I go back in my house, I'll check because I didn't notice if something was chirping again. But that's the sort of thing that really annoys the hell out of me. We have a carbon monoxide thing, which I'm surprised has never gone off with all of the vehicles running their engines and stuff around here. And I'm concerned about them filling up the stairwell. You have a door that opens up at the steps that are going up. One thing I could say about the street over here, the traffic has to keep running. But the other entrance, you could be gunning your engine for hours at a time, and the carbon monoxide will literally come up in the stairwell. And if I don't have that inner door closed, the carbon monoxide can come in the house, and I smelled the fumes before. I don't want to breathe that. And my mother sure doesn't need it because even if she doesn't smell it, she only gets between 25 and 30% of her oxygen. She has atrial fibrillation, she has obesity, she has a lot of issues where carbon monoxide is the last thing she needs. So we have a carbon monoxide meter. We had two, but I think one was taken away. Oh, well, when I'm back in my house, listen for that chirp. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. Within a day of them starting, it gets my attention. Because you know how it's fewer and far between first starts, and then they become more frequently so that you can't ignore them. Uh, are they going to be in Atlantic City this summer? I would love to see them. I really enjoyed the crowd. I enjoyed the positivity. I wore a T-shirt when it was over. I should be better in the loop of things. We used to have a free weekly newspaper that was newspaper boxes on the boardwalk and throughout the. Want to cut down the littering. Understand that. But they made it so that you have to either, first of all, it's not the AC Weekly anymore. It's something, I forget what all it's called. But it's for events throughout the Atlantic and Cape County. So it's this whole geographic area. And if you don't get around much beyond either big cities that are far away or just your own town, so much of this is irrelevant to you. And I would have to actually go to the Boardwalk Hall. They have an a visitor information center where you can get free things like the TV guide for the local stuff they call TV Atlantic or whatever. My mother likes that, so I usually pick that up for her. But I usually end up going to Tropicana to get that. But this particular paper is actually a weekly paper and it gives you the information and stuff. But anyway, you have to specifically go out of your way to try to find it. It's not easy to find because of the running litter problem. But can I? Okay, let's give a shout out to my wife. She's the one that told me about your content. She also has a spot for mice. Dawn B. I said that right. Hi, Dawn B. You like mice? Oh man, well you're going to like some of the stuff coming up soon because, well, just stay wherever they're at into it so that I can stay so bad when my mother finds them in her room and she a fly swatter or she takes her cane and she hits at them and she's like, shoot, 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 go away. And I, away, away, boo, boo, boo. And I tell her, I said, look, imagine somebody took a big flagpole, like a flagpole that would be in front of a firehouse or a school, a big tall flagpole, and you're a giant. And you took this flagpole, and this had a big wooden, uh, like a plywood on it, and you use that to hit somebody and to shoot them away. That's what you're doing is to these mice, is that you're terrorizing them. And all they're doing is looking for a safe place to get something to eat because they're hungry. And she says, well, they don't need to be here. Listen, they're not intelligent enough to know that. You don't need to be cruel to them. And she says, well, and it's like, you notice they can jump down but they can't jump up. My sinuses are just totally going up as we can speak. If I had tissue, I'd be blowing my nose, but I don't have tissue. And something told me I should bring tissue before I went out here. And it's not because I smoked a weed, by the way. We just have really bad sinuses. But they are so precious. And how I catch them is if they happen to, if I could get them, if I could catch them in a trash can, and I can get it, dump it into a bucket, and then right away you put a lid on it. Is Dawn B watching? Because I don't have a set schedule for when I go live. The problem with live streams is sometimes days afterwards, sometimes weeks after, sometimes months afterward. YouTube will go through my old content. And if I say one sentence in passing that they don't like, if say I'm responding to something that somebody says in the chat room, if I express a thought that goes against any of their community standards for whatever reason, if it's something that's political, if it's something expressing doubts about some established truths, whether it's about medicine or politics or different things, even though sometimes we later find out that those conspiracy theories were right, like about the vaccines and all that stuff. So you have to be careful kind of in what you say. And I really resent that. So to the point where sometimes I will interrupt myself when I'm talking. And then when I look at the replay, I'll realize that it looks like I interrupted myself and I was sounded like President Biden or other people with cognitive problems. And I realized that I deliberately stopped finishing my thought because I realized that somebody will come back later and say that I was glorifying the bad behaviors and stuff. Because I started to talk about how sometimes when I worry about gaining weight, I don't eat. Like I deliberately do not eat before filming because if you eat, I'm one of these people that as soon as I eat, my stomach sticks out. So I try to really be careful to because I want to look as good as possible, obviously, and especially before camera. So when I talk about the true things that I do, and especially the things I did before I got clean and sober, I'm not glorifying my past. I'm just telling the truth. And I don't want people telling me that I need to age restrict things just because I dare to talk about things that I used to do, most of which I don't even do anymore. Trump 2024. Yeah. And the thing is, if Trump was in office and he did something about these, first of all, I don't know if he would have the legislative ability to get rid of these sanctuary cities and things. But when I think about places that I love and I used to go to regularly, like New York City, then I heard there is another shooting or stabbing or something in the subway. I have friends that live and work there.
They are always saying, why don't you come up there? Not like come up here because we'll put you up, mind you. Nobody gives you housing in the East Coast. That's just a California thing, as far as I know. New York, you gotta really work to get accepted there. It's so expensive to even get up there. And now you gotta worry about your safety. I never thought about Times Square as being dangerous because from the time that Rudy Giuliani was in charge and he cleaned up things, I would really only have experience with New York around Christmas vacation. That's when I would have excuse to come up there. And I would only go there to visit certain people who I knew who lived there, and I would never be away from them and walk around by myself until, I guess, until right after 9/11. Before then, I always had this morbid fear of getting lost there, even though free maps are ubiquitous. You can't go 6 or 7 blocks without finding the kiosk where you can get free maps and stuff. But once I got over my fear of, I'm looking at the chat. Once I got over my fear of getting lost there, uh, it was a game changer for me. And I love New York so much. But now with all the crime, it's not just too expensive. It doesn't seem safe. Once the Trump haters got involved, see, it all kind of went downhill once the Occupy Wall Street people started to get powerful because they were harassing people and they're interfering with business. They were saying if you were operating a Starbucks, they would take over the whole area around there. They were blocking customers being able to get into businesses. They were, because they were camping out all over, they were making messes, they were defecating, urinating, and openly using needles and doing all kinds of things that were making it unable for business to be able to go on and just interfering with people's livelihoods. And there's a difference between making a political statement and even being a little loud because we have a First Amendment right to do that. But it doesn't mean that you have a right to make other people. Oh, I lost. I get spit outside. Hold on. That was so ghetto. I know, but I had no choice, man. And then the people in traffic saw uh, what looked like a really low class thing. Welcome to Atlantic City, but a town full of low class people, I guess. So I guess maybe what are these low class people? Oh, so yeah, maybe true. I can't get over how, yeah, it started with when this Occupy Wall Street thing movement happened in this country. That's when things kind of started to go downhill. That's when the concept of you could be hunted on the street based on people can see some expression of your political whatever and think that not only do you have a are somehow a threat, and because your views are somehow a threat, people use force to oppose your expression of your thought. Once this started to happen here in America, I'm sure there has been many times throughout the history of our country where this has happened, but in my lifetime, this is the first time that I have personally witnessed this happening and the possibility of it impacting my life and my feelings of safety. Because I've always enjoyed I guess, the popular parlance now is privilege of being able to walk around and just like I think that it's great. I can wear my short skirts and my garter belts and feel safe. Where I got for years people telling me about how brave I am. And I don't think of just wearing certain fashions that you like that most people don't like. I don't think of that as a brave thing. I think of it as hello, I'm doing what I want, wearing what I want. The only time I'm conscious of being brave is if I'm out in public and I'm getting unwanted attention, it's making me feel uncomfortable, it's starting to make me feel unsafe. In the beginning couple of years of my stoner life, I'd be real stoned here and I'd be maybe a short skirt and fishnets and a garter belt stuff and a bunch of punk rock accessories and just feeling like everybody's eyes were on me and that made me feel sometimes uncomfortable. Makeup look glitter. Still here, had to take care of my puppy dog. Oh yeah. That's oh okay. Speaking of dogs and cats, today when I was getting lunch I ran into my neighbor who has the dog and the cat still needs to be spayed, right? And there's a video which you guys are going to see in a couple of days about the subject of dog and cat food, and I won't spoil it for you here. But I actually dug into the trash can. They had this big trash can, and people were dumping their leftovers of their meals, and a lot of people were wasting so much food. And it was mostly rice, green beans, and either salmon or meatloaf. And it was kind of sucky meatloaf, and I'm pretty good. I appreciate a good meatloaf, but it was really kind of not best. But you know what? You need your protein, and there's nothing wrong with it. And there's a whole lot of food waste. So I got an empty plastic cup, and I dug through it got the meat out, and I got some of the green beans too. And I said, here, for this guy who has this dog and cat. I don't know, this is here, add this to your dog food and your cat food. Stretch it out. It's not necessarily really good for them because you don't know about the spicing and stuff. With some meats, you can actually rinse it off in some water, put it in a colander, pour some water over it, and the colander will keep the meat from falling apart. That'll rinse off the excess spices and salt and things because you don't want spices in your dog and cat food. You don't want salt uh, if you can help it in your dog and cat food. Even though, yes, they need sodium to live, but they seek it out themselves. And there's a reason why we use special dog and cat food that is made for dogs, made for cats. Cats need cat food. Cat food has taurine in it. Taurine is not manufactured in cats' bodies for them. Cats need meat. Anybody tries to tell you because they're vegan, their cat's going to be vegan, you're going to kill a cat that way. So animals need to be fed properly. But uh, I will save meat for dogs and cats. And even if it's not, if for instance my own cats are dead, so I don't have them to feed. But there's people like Garfield, there's a heart-nosed cat. I will, it's good to have sources for meat for the animals that you know. And my neighbor has a dog and a cat. And the other day, he tried to hit me up for $10 to get cat food and dog food. And the thing is, I'm not dealing with. I'm sick and tired of this. First of all, I'm the one that is in need of trying to to do things as cheaply as possible. Because first of all, why pay top dollar when you can't afford to? Number one. Number two, there's no need to. With all you need to do is get from point A to point B. It doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you do it safely, and as long as it doesn't take like a year to do it. Uh, but anyway, that said, see, I interrupted myself because I think the pot's finally kicking in a little bit. I want to be as safe as possible in doing anything I do, but also do things as cheaply as possible. It's kind of the bottom line. What you gotta see. I found the cross. I actually ended up setting that on this carpet here. Now, 1023, it's important to get your veggies. Yeah, I keep on seeing that balance in nature thing they advertise, and whenever they give you discount codes and they say to get preferred delivery, which means you get stuck on auto delivery, and it's probably about 39 or $49. Just like that Prevagen sounds really great to help with your memory, but that starts at $39 for a month. If you're spending more money on supplements than on food, and food prices are gone so high, I think pot is the safest thing that you can do. Now, I got to give a disclaimer here. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an Indian chief. I'm just a human being that's had life of experience. That's good. That's the one thing is it's not the most affordable medical procedure in the life of having an animal is a spay and neuter. Spay and neuter are the first shots you get when you get a kitten or whatever. Because I usually find animals on the street. That's usually how I get my cats. Occasionally, they have been pound animals. My mother could tell you more about that. I on the street, you're going to, yeah, well, that's my, okay, let me show you what this all looks like. I've got a spot here, and where my foot edge of my shoes, that's where the step. Actually, no, this is where the step foot was touching. Okay, so now here I can't. Here, yeah, yeah. And fall down. Okay, the thing is, if I walk down here this way, I would prefer to use the hand this way, but unfortunately, there's only a railing on one side. I wish they had railings on both sides, really. That way, whatever hand is uh handy and convenient you can use. Because, like, what if one hand is much dirtier than the other, and you don't want to get that dirty hand touch a clean thing? The dog is still a puppy. He's healing from her surgery. Oh, yeah. Um, in a way, this is kind of a really peaceful place for filming, except for if anybody comes out of these apartments, that would be awkward. Especially if it's somebody I don't know, or if it's somebody I know but who doesn't like me, then it'll be awkward. But to not do it and not get the audio that I want you guys to hear. Use the dirty hand to touch street cats and use the clean hand to eat veggies. Simple logic. Ah, I mean, you would never know it to see how I'm living, but I actually am a germaphobe. But, like, for instance, it's got to be with degrees. Like, when I live with cats, they never sleep in my bed because I'm sorry, your paws have to touch the floor, your paws have to dig through a litter box. So, because of that, you don't want to be touching where my possibly naked body is going to be touching. I have a real problem with it. Oh, now I'm trying to sound like the roses. What happened? You notice how we cut off the sound just like that? Because it's 10:28. Is this how they automatically You don't like any of your neighbors? Yeah, they moved so many of our neighbors were transient, and oh, for a while, that's how we all got bed bugs. One summer, there was, and how we finally treated it. So we had one who was a husband and wife, and they just had a baby, and baby was like 2 or 3. It was a tiny, tiny, tiny little single apartment, and the baby got bed bug bites, and Dyfus was visiting the baby. And, whenever children are harmed, then that's when agencies step in. Children have a right to be protected. And because the child was protected, the whole building got treated and stuff. Alpha Brain supplements from Alex Jones to remember which hand is which. That shit works for real. Alex Jones. Isn't he going through a big lawsuit now? He's interesting. On one hand, some of his theories really kind of piss me off, and I think they give some people a bad name. But other things, he is right, and plus he's been loyal to Trump and kind of in support of him. No, back all of his actually buy some of his stuff to support him because I like to. Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to the chat replay. How much did you say that? What's that going to be? About $39 a month or something? Oh, what is he? Some cracky. Crackhead action. So, who could you? Try to do the cuckoo. Oh, was she calling my name? Sure, nobody could open this door. Oh, it's make you YouTube famous. Oh man. Oh, I heard that some people that work with code enforcement are watching my channel now. So, any of you codies, hi. God, dare open the door again. Easy. Pretty go. Hey, crazy. It is now 10:32. I got I got a bunch of broccoli today. I'm gonna cook that up maybe and some potatoes and I'm making a lot of hamburgers for myself lately. And I usually put them on everything bagel or an onion bagel or I like those poppy seeds too. That's why I like everything bagels because they have all that stuff on them. And then you gotta pick the stuff out of your teeth. And even though the bagels are kind of tough, I eat my hamburgers open faced. So I'll take a bagel and I'll cut it in half, and I'll take a burger and I'll cut it in half. I'll make it kind of be about this big. I'll eat it that way, open faced, and I'll do that with the other half. And to me, and I don't put anything on it except salt and pepper. Occasionally, if I have raw onions, I'll slice the raw onion. But for the most part, I don't really add things. Mustard on it, and I will have relish on it, and I will have ketchup on it, sure. And I have had really wonderful hamburgers out. They had barbecue sauce on it and jalapeno, a little bit, not too much. Bacon. Who doesn't love bacon on your burgers? 39 bucks a month. Yeah. Depending on, I think once I deal with my storage, once I get two into that's going to be so key. Getting the 2 units into one. There's things I could ship back out here. Now, what I'm gonna do with my record collection is I have some in one and some in the other. And by the the units are literally 10 feet from each other. It's not like they're in different facilities or in different rooms of the facility or something. So, getting things from one to another isn't the problem. The problem is there's stuff that I can get rid of that I can throw out. But of course, I can't use the dumpster in the storage facility itself because one time I got in trouble throwing out my stuff in the dumpster and they threatened to evict me. It's like, hello, I've been there for decades, literally. You're going to tell me that I'm evicted, especially when I clear out 3,000 miles away. Not quite. Atlantic City, New Jersey is actually not 3,000 miles away from Hollywood, California, even though a lot of times I think in terms of Greyhound miles. Flying miles seems like it's straight all the way, but curved, and of course it all depends on if you gotta evade weather and shit. But if you think about Greyhound, of course, that's every little uh, Tom, Dick, and Harry town between here and there and stuff, and then the layovers and stopping for cleaning and all that stuff. I enjoy it, and I know most people. It's a lot of fun. It's peaceful. But the thing is, I don't know that that's going to be how I'm going to get out there. It's a shame the Grateful Dead isn't still doing it. It would be so much easier to be thumbing it and stuff. Because when I was willing to do that during Grateful Dead time. That was the only time in my life that I felt safe as a female, especially as a female that does not typically dress modest. That I honestly did not feel that I was taking a word to be used, especially among the social justice warriors of the world. But maybe it's because I'm an American and I was born here and I'm used to just being free. And I'm used to, even though growing up in Atlantic City, I felt conscious of because I've always looked different and stuff, being made fun of and can't walk down the street without people making fun of me and calling me names. And growing up, even in kindergarten, the kids were really, really mean. You said what's up with that documentary I was in? What documentary are you talking about? The Kiss fiction one? There's this one called Won't Get Fooled Again. That I used to go to Kiss expos a lot, and I don't know if they're still really a thing, but you know what? They're not as much fun to go to anymore because it seems like the people that go to that are all grandparents, and you've got all these little kids, and when you're looking at the rock and roll memorabilia, you're tripping over little kids and stuff. So, okay, which documentary? The like a shitty version of Jackass. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Um, Lester, here's the story. Uh, so me and my family spent $15,000 in legal fees trying to suppress that. In year 2002, now after 9/11, I came back out here because I didn't want to be on the street. And I was looking for acting work and modeling work, whatever, like I was doing in Los Angeles. And I answered an ad in the Yahoo groups for actors and models. And they said that they were looking for somebody that would be good for a video show host, kind of like the MTV VJs that could interview people and in between video clips. And I thought that that would be something that I could do. And since I had these years of experience in Los Angeles, and I had no way of knowing that these were people I didn't see in Los Angeles. I never would have fallen for these scammers. because in Los Angeles, when I went to casting calls and things, I went to real studios, buildings that were obvious professional things. And I thought these two young men, I think that you're talking about they were in Access Video Entertainment. I thought that they were using me for poor man's film school. And they wanted to interview me to see if I would be good show host. One of the things they did is the camera, I didn't know it was running. They did upskirt shots where I was on the edge of the bay in Atlantic City. Stuff. And I was wearing high heels and a very short skirt and, dressing what I'm wearing. Tiger, hello. Tiger, somebody just found that terrible video that I sued to suppress. I spent a lot of money on legal fees about, and he just found it. And I'm telling him the story of that terrible video, the video they called America's Most Retarded. And he put my full name, Leather Wench Rokk. And you mentioned this. So now you're asking me about this. I will tell you the story. So they filmed me, and it made it look like I wasn't wearing any underwear. You know how when you're wearing a thong and you're bent over, it looks like you're not wearing any underwear because it goes up the crack of your ass. And anyway, you are covered and you know you're covered, but it makes it look like you're not. Well, then they put a scrim. It looks like a piece of black tape, like a rectangle, and they put it over me to make it look like they were obscuring me so that I wasn't exposed. To make it look like I was, a dirty girl. They deliberately edited this to make me look like I was loose, like I was mental. And another thing, they were nagging me, and coercing me to drink a glass of wine. I didn't want to drink because I am a professional person with Hollywood acting and dance credits. You don't party on the set. You don't drink on the set. And they're trying to get me to drink. And I finally started sipping from this glass of wine, and there was something in it. They slipped me something. I blacked out almost everything in that video. That whatever it is that you saw, the only thing I very vaguely remember is I went on some drunken tirade called United States of Espanol, where I was talking about illegal immigration. I vaguely remember what looked like a wrestling sequence, which I cannot believe I did. Now, I blacked out so much of this. I don't know whether I was touched. I don't know. I have not watched the whole thing. I have every now and then gotten somebody who has done a search on me and has found this and has asked me about it. When I found out about this, I looked for an attorney. I finally found an attorney, but I found this attorney on witchvox.com, which does not exist anymore. And what it was is I understand they set up other people, unsuspecting people, like they did some kind of bum fights or something where they paid homeless people to fight each other or whatever. That's another despicable thing. But one of many things that I hate about this is they use my full legal name. And this was just before I went to court to make my name legal. I knew that there was going to be a court appearance because I was suing about this. And there's always a thing in court where they say, state your name record. I didn't want my dead name to come out because I didn't want to be known by anybody. So I fast tracked the court thing to go and make my name Leather Wench Rokk, my legal name. So these sons of bitches, when they made this thing, they put my full name on it. They didn't just put Leather Rokk on it, they put Leather Wench Rokk. I didn't used to just go by Leather Rokk. I used to be proud of my full name. I used to be proud of the Leather Wench Rokk. There's people in Hollywood who call me Wench Rokk. There are people that know me from the 80s, okay? People that know me from time I first stepped foot in Hollywood, when I would go to the Rock and Roll Denny's, which is a Denny's that's closest to the Sunset Strip, where when the clubs are closed, people would go because Denny's is open 24 hours, you know. People would go there when the bars and the clubs are closed, and they would have their coffee and their breakfasts, all the pancakes. There's nothing like pancakes and coffee when you've been dancing all night. Especially, well, I make my pancakes. Well, I like pancakes with butter and salt and pepper and Tabasco sauce, not the sweet stuff. That's what I like on my pancakes. And then one time I was on LSD and I had pancakes and they breathed up. But anyway, I digress. But no, those sons of bitches, they slipped me something. I don't know. And they were trying to, and the thing is, during the audition, they were trying to get me to really be out there and exaggerate things. And the thing is, for an audition, and another thing, these were not in the days when they tape you during auditions. Now it is standard practice to be having your auditions taped, and they can tell that it's being taped because the equipment's there, the lights there, and everything. When this was made, they didn't tell me that it was being taped. I didn't know that camera was on when it was aimed up my skirt. Well, the thing is, this was so long ago, and I exhausted all my family's savings on an attorney. And what ultimately happened is Access Video Company, which is these two asshole guys um, in Gloucester City, New Jersey, which is where it was filmed. That's why I had to get a New Jersey lawyer. If this had happened in Los Angeles, I would have gotten a Los Angeles an entertainment attorney. There, you can't shake a stick without beating an entertainment attorney over the head in California anywhere. But in New Jersey, forget about it. And my attorney, they said that the lawyer, the judge didn't think I had a case to prove defamation. See, that was the main thing I was trying to prove, defamation. They took a girl who had been relatively obscure prior to this, and he made me look like a Jerry Springer fool. They made me look like a drunk, loose moral woman. They made me look like somebody with no self-respect who would wrestle grown men. A woman people do. That's not something they do in rings. You don't mix genders and something like that. That just looked pornographic. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if I was fonder or worse. I don't know. I sued those some of the bitches, but you know what they ended up doing? They sold the distribution rights to a Canadian company. And when that happens, you know how much it costs to serve papers? It's considered overseas, even though you're just going from the United States to Canada. That's another country that costs so much more money. I ran out of money. So, before my father died, he knew the stress of this. When this happened, I was in so much shame. I was afraid to go out of the house. I was afraid anybody would see me and say, "Oh, that girl, that's Mother Witch Rokk. She did that retarded movie. She's a whore. She's crazy. She's dirty. Maybe she has VD because of what happened with those guys." And I think people are to this day spending money on this. And if something happens tomorrow that I make an Academy Award for some legitimate thing in Hollywood, you know what's going to happen? That money is going to sell. The people that made that money, that film, they're all going to make money. The people, the two guys, Chris Castor, whatever, any other guy, and the guy who did the camera, and the girlfriend of one of them, they're all going to make money on this. And a production company, they're going to make money on this. I never made 1 cent. They didn't pick me up. I had to take a train to Gloucester City. They picked me up at the train station. And they had to stop at the liquor store before they got to their condo or their apartment where they lived. Okay. The battery, the low battery thing is on. Uh, Okay, and I just dropped that little cross thing. Okay, here. Okay.
I gotta take this back into my stuff. Okay. The low battery thing is on, and I don't want this to shut off. So anyway, when those guys did this, I remember I went to a Kiss Expo because I've been going to Kiss Expos time. Oh, by the way, the first thing, big change that happened in my life when this happened is I quit drinking. I quit drinking November of 2004. This was filmed in, I believe, January of 2003. Uh, and it scared me. It's one of the things that scared me sober. But I stress, I would not have willingly drunk on the set. And you slip something because at the time I was drinking so heavily that a half a glass of wine does not get a person fucked up. And I blacked out. There's a special spot in hell for people who do that to people. And you know, if it happened in the UK, they have laws against that. If a person goes on a job set where they think that they're being filmed or it's a showbiz thing and somebody slipped them alcohol, and like I said, I blacked out most of that. That is like considered a federal sex crime over there. But because it happened in the United States at the time, we did not have protections. Maybe now, if it happens here in 2024, maybe now the laws are stronger. But unfortunately, those scumbags got away with this. And the thing is, I'm hoping that since there is social media now, and since I have this YouTube channel and I have all these videos and things, I'm hoping that I have enough work that when people do see this, they'll see past it and they'll think they won't judge me for this. Because, like I said, that was the only thing I'm proud of is I love my hair and stuff, my makeup. I thought I looked good, but that was me fucked up on alcohol and whatever they mixed in that. So aside from the tirade about the how I feel about the illegal immigration thing, um, aside from that, but that was very good. I remember the first time I found out that they'd done something with this. I had a friend who I don't know if he's even still alive, but I had a friend that lived in Australia. And I like to be on Instant Messenger. This time it was Yahoo Instant Messenger I used. And I'm talking Australia, that's what, 18-hour time difference, 13-hour time difference. And I am very nocturnal now. So, but at the time, this was turning me into nocturnal because you're talking to somebody on the other side of the world. And they one day dropped me a link to this and they said, I can't believe this is you. And that's when I saw that they had done this. And I remember when I first found out about it, it just what it did to me. And it cost me and my family good upwards of $20,000 in legal fees. And I thought that this was defaming my character. I thought that this was going to prevent me from being able to go back to Los Angeles and resume my career, which had been interrupted by the events of 9/11. I was a movie extra, a 5 lines or less actor, a private collector's model, an art model, a stage dancer who wanted to do more bigger things. But 9/11 happened. The work shut off. I didn't want to be on the street. Mom and dad said, come back here. I came back here. I wanted to find work like what I was doing out there. And knowing that New Jersey is kind of like the armpit of the nation when it comes to looking for the showbiz stuff, Atlantic City's a little bit better now than it was in 2001, 2002. But still, for the market, for me, for my image, and especially considering now that I have all this controversial stuff on YouTube, I could see where a lot of people will probably be afraid to work with me because somebody might complain that that's the lady that smokes weed and says dirty words on camera. Or they'll say, oh, she made that video complaining about the rap music that uses that word that you're not supposed to say, even though if you're talking about a word, it's not the same thing as saying a word. So that's why I won't take that video down. Um, you see, I that's a double-edged sword because the more you show of your old resume, then it's going to make you look old. But I was a movie extra, and so I was in a whole lot of stuff that you've probably seen, MTV, rock videos, and movies. Rockstar was such a big part of my life, and that was what came out September 7th. I worked on that for 4.5 months. And then 9/11 happened, and they stopped promoting it. It was like um, Glitter by Mariah Carey also came out around that time. That was uh, that was shelved. The only work I got in Hollywood after 9/11 was 2 days on a Lit video. Lit is a rock band, like a pop rock band, and the video was called Lipstick and Bruises. I was not, I don't even think you saw my face in the video. It was about a robot that was cutting hair, gave haircuts to some people. And the thing that I remember most about that video, very talented singer. I'm kind of turned off by her diva behavior, but I she looks very, and I can't stand that Christmas song. My mom loves it. You know, all I want for Christmas is you. My mother sings along. Well, she doesn't sing along with the song, but she about bops along to it. It's like, I don't want to hear it. Oh, found the cross. Uh, oh, my sinuses are so fucked up. But yeah, isn't it funny how when the church shut the music down, it was really abrupt? Tiger, how you doing, hon? Tiger in the house. Let me find a tissue. I'm doing this live stream tonight partly because there's nothing good on TV. Okay, TLC is only showing the 600-pound people. Lately, they've been doing a lot of the sister wives, seeking sister wife stuff, and the 600-pound people. And it's like, I like when it's a 90-day fiance stuff. Oh, my mother likes Dr. Pimple Popper, so she might be watching that tonight. I don't know. I see I noticed they have this thing called crack addicts. The first I thought was about crack heads, and here it's about people going to the chiropractor and stuff, and that's interesting. So uh, that's one thing that I think I will miss it when I'm in LA is not having all the cable TV. You know, Love After Lockup. I haven't seen that. Is that on TLC? Or is that on one of the other ones? Like I used to watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and I know it's not cool to admit that, but they're an attractive family. When Bruce Jenner was not yet Caitlyn, and I was noticing that he was rocking a longer-haired Paul McCartney kind of look, and I've been a fan since the Wheaties box, okay? When I was a little girl and he done the Olympics thing and when everybody was talking about things and you can like people and it's like you have to keep it a secret because people will think you're not cool for it's like, okay, there's people who I don't like their politics, but I still like their style. Like you'll shoot me for saying this. There's a guy on the cabinet. He identifies as non-binary. He's bald, but he's a kleptomaniac, and he wears these ball gowns and shit and bright red lipstick. What's his name? He's on the cat. You think I'm more attractive than a Kardashian? Oh, come on, Kim Kardashian, so beautiful. No matter what's going on with her butt and everything, I heard that they started using the Ozempic like drugs to do the quick things. But you know what? That has some side effects. One of my Facebook friends her mom started using that for the weight loss thing, and she ended up with pancreatic cancer. And that's what ended up killing my father, by the way, is pancreatic cancer. And he wasn't taking any old Ozempic. Sorry about that. Whoa! I just, I know this is, I don't mean to turn you off, but I just blew out a blood clot by the. Mm. Okay, hold a second. I want to ask my mother if this is normal. I'll right back. Okay, I'm back. I showed this to my mother. Don't worry about it. It happens to her all the time. Uh, oh, I was wrong. It wasn't Zyrtec. That pill that you take once a day is the generic name for it is cetirizine, and you can get them at Dollar Tree for $1.25 because everything at Dollar Tree is a quarter now. But you get, I think, 22 pills or something. Otherwise, you're paying. I don't know what you're paying at Walgreens. It's like $12 or $13. It's like, what do you want to pay? $12 or $13 or $1.25? Oh, that's it for the blood for a while. Uh, Let me see if I can find some. No, I can find some hand sanitizer, or else I could actually wash my hands. Cause yeah, I want to actually wash my hands because I found that cross, and I found how's Garfield doing? He's so chubby. Love it. Yes, he is for a cat that somebody claims they have been feeding him for 8 years. I love how he's so big. I did the other day. I did 8 videos with him. Uh, you know what? My personal best for doing videos in one day is 10. Especially since I'm so mad about what happened when I lost my internet capability with this computer, and I found out why it happened too. But hopefully, I'll learn how to use this iPad. Let me wash this. Hold on a second. In my hand. Uh, I'm back. Is that Tron or Iron? Mikey Tron. Hey, good to see you. With this is trying to make my dress look like a different outfit. I still don't know how it got bounced off when I first started this stream, but at least I got to show off the church. Uh, Try this simple. Oh, my sinuses are so fucked up. My mother's reminding me that it's time to take another pill. I don't remember when I took it. You know what? Maybe it is. I don't know. Uh, I'm thinking it might be 419 and a half too. You think? I mean, I know it's technically 1104. You guys know what I'm talking about. I don't think it's gonna say this. But, oh, I keep on checking the mailbox. Honey for allergy. I love honey. This is the kind of honey I'm working at now. I love honey. You know what I used to do? Speaking of honey, when I lived in San Francisco, they would have farmers markets twice a week. I would get a jar of bee pollen. You buy a jar like this, it was cut like an octagon shaped. And thank you, Danielle. I would also use beeswax for my magic. You know, you get these sheets and you take the wick and you put them in, you roll them up, and you can make either the tall, you can get either the taper kind, or the little kind that you can use like for menorah candles, or even some people use them for birthday candles, even though they would last a lot longer than that. But I like to use them for my witchy stuff, you know. And when I lived in San Francisco and I was literally camping out under the stars, and you know, when you're living with your stuff in a rucksack, everything is little, everything's portable. I miss San Francisco. I discovered another YouTuber. He's on a bunch of platforms, but there's a site I'm on called Loot Up that has videos from Hideout TV that basically takes a lot of people there on YouTube also. And I tried to get my videos put on this, but they wouldn't accept me because I don't make family friendly content. I don't. I always do something to screw up a video, whether it's using the word FUCK or CUNT or smoking some of this. We're talking about how I used to do XYZ and stuff. And I have had so many wonderful memories of things with, I remember especially the activism. Working on the Proposition 215, the people I got to meet. I got to meet Brownie Mary. I got to march in one of the gay prides. And how this happened, I don't want to freak anybody out. I wasn't really going to mention this, but you mentioned San Francisco. Okay. I got off a tour of Grateful Dead. All right. Set this up for you. I'm all these hippies. I did not know that literally the week I got into town, Pride was in town. And like I'm surrounded by all these weed people. And I had discovered the Proposition 215 movement. And I was volunteering at 39 Fell, which is among many things. It was, I believe, at one time it was detox. And right next to it was something called the Cannabis Buyers Club. Anybody remember that? That was what may have been the first dispensary, but it was nothing like these sterile things of today where they want your photo ID, where they would never serve a peon like me, even for the retail side of this marijuana stuff. But no, all you needed was somebody to just take you by the hand, who knows you, who happens to be a medical patient, and they march you on in there. And it's like, I remember it was the living room you wish you. Imagine a perfect hippie living room, all decked out in tie dyes. And I don't usually tie dyes, but marijuana. A hippie's wet dream. All these beautiful rainbow colors and just all this stuff. So anyway, this is how I got to be in the parade, and I got to meet Brownie Mary and the guy who spearheaded Proposition 215, a guy by the name of Dennis Perone. He was a gay man that lived in San Francisco whose lover, they didn't have marriage then, was dying of AIDS. And he was trying to visit his man, his love. And at the time, it was so awful that you couldn't visit people that you weren't married to. The love that you had was not respected. People, if the family didn't like you of the person you weren't able to marry, then they would prevent you from visiting them in the hospital. They treated people horribly. I was in San Francisco during the tail end of the abuses that were going on with the HIV/AIDS crisis, and it really was very heartbreaking seeing how people were capable of treating people. And I witnessed certain good things that happened. Like one time I was with a group of Gothic people and we were squatting in San Francisco, up and down different neighborhoods, specifically the Mission District and the Castro. Um, we started off, we actually met in the Tenderloin, but we started off, Castro was really in a hate street, and which, you know what ruined hate, I heard, was crack. There was this, I love this cyber cafe I used to go to called Download Deli. It was in the middle of hate. Across from, oh, what was the name of the hill? It was this park that has this church. And one time I decided to camp out there on the grass, thinking I'm high enough up here, far enough away from the sprinklers. Well, got waken up by the sprinklers, and I had to be up in the morning to sweep the streets for GA, okay? And it was so humiliating. I was soaked, my sleeping bag was wet, and I'm having this dream, this nice, warm, gentle rain, and here it is, this the sprinkler set to go off at like 5 in the morning. Whoops. Oh man, that sucked. I would have these old guys in these storefronts that were seeing my meager attempt at sweeping, and they would show me the right way to wield a broom, and I'd be so embarrassed because this old skinny guy from Little Italy knows how to push a broom better than I do, which of course he did. He actually worked a decent year in his life. Me, when you're a struggling artist, well, most of what you do for a living is not even considered work by so many people. You know, yeah, this daily thing, I'm telling you. And then again, you press the wrong key, and then all of a sudden you can't get online. And then I felt like a real screw up. You know, now I've got honey on my hands. Uh, and you know what? If you ever come back to San Francisco, I like to do it. Now, the last time I was there, I stayed in a hostel in the Center Haight that I don't remember the name of. See, now without having ID, that might be a problem. I think it would be better for me to just do it on the street and be cheap, rather than spend money on these bed and breakfasts and these hotels and things. Or else, if not for the fact that I couldn't screw up my residency here right now, I could always apply for GR, and they put you in a Hindu hotel for the week before they give you the voucher for the housing while you make all your appointments, and then after that you start getting your checks and all that, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is that I would rather, at one point I actually got on a housing list in San Francisco, but the thing is, and how you would pay your rent for that would be a third of your income. And the thing is, I wanted to be in a place where I could actually get the kind of work that I wanted. And at least if I lived in Los Angeles, I could get the extra work. You always work on the movie sets in Los Angeles. They always have TV shows. They always have movies. And at the time, before 9/11 fucked everything up, I had an agent. He was an actor's agent that specialized in work for Gothic people, punk rock people, ravers, and also drag queens, because he was a drag queen. He actually was taking the shots to get breast development and different things. But he used to go to Tijuana to get the Premarin to get the body, because he was making more money, uh, usually in these club roles. He was Screen Actors Guild. Well, this is before SAG and after Jam. Thank you. See, I don't want to pour anything down because I've got honey on my hands. Listen, let me wash the honey off my hand, okay? and wash this off. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm tempted to take a teaspoon right now, but the thing is, I need this to help with my sweetening. I still have sugars and I still have sweet and lows, and I have a whole box of stevia that a friend of my mother's gave me. But Atlantic City Queen, well, you know what? If for all the Atlantic City has good things about it, and Atlantic City has bad things about it. And some of the bad things can really stress a person out, especially with this whole thing of the cops and the mercantile thing. I really want to take my guitar out there tomorrow. I have one musical instrument that still has all six strings. You guys have seen my instrument collection. Refresh some memories here. I play Bless This Mess, which no, I'm not playing nothing. But anyway, this is the guitar that actually has all six strings. Oops. I'm glad I didn't break a string. That would really piss a girl off. Okay, enough. Oops, got the light on. Here, I'm going to turn around. I want you to see where I'm balancing my instruments right now. I know that looks kind of fucked up. But in my defense, I'm running out of. I try to protect my clothes. Now, this is where every single one of these instruments needs work. Okay. The violin needs work. Everything, that would be this guitar. I don't think the strings would, I think it's literally pulling that instrument apart. I don't want to spend the money on a setup for them. That's a lot of money. I wanted to actually do things with the bass. Okay, checking to make sure there's nothing on down there. I have. All right, I guess I'm gonna have to go down here. This is here. All right. This I think could be useful in setting up some awesome. I mean, setting up some office stuff. Uh, that's why I have this plastic thing here, even though it doesn't have the. I'm sure it probably had those clear plastic drawers in it. But I was thinking I could use pieces of plywood and I could make little shelves on that. But uh see what I'm trying to do. I know this looks like hell, this place, but these back here are bags of clothes. These are all clean and organized. Like for instance, these are all shirts. Those are all the top bag there. Those are all knit mini dresses. This bag here, you can't see where my thing here. That's all pants. Back here, this is like a mess, but this is all. Oh boy. Excuse me. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. This is all socks here. This is all stocking. This is all dungarees. This is all bathing suits. This is all short shorts. You know what? These make really great containers. These are rice bags. Rice bags are awesome for clothes. A lot of times they have zippers on them. Uh, this bag here has all my business suits in it. I have so many suits you would be shocked. This is short dresses, uh, coats, obviously. I am so pissed off that the landlord, when he was here a couple weeks ago, he happened to see through there. The door was open here, and he said this place looked like a mess, like this was trash. I corrected. I said, "Excuse me." I said, "These are my things." I said, "I have been doing my best to protect my clothes, my possessions from the vermin here, up here. They have shoes up here. They have long sleeve shirts that are in hangers, wrapped up in that Salvation Army box. All kinds of those are all my possessions are being protected here. So that if shit goes down and I have a chance to finally get the hell thing, is this the new Apple product? I'm still filming with my original computer. I have not um really figured out how to use that Apple product. Um, what else do I want to show you? One of the things that's buried in this cloud, again, it's really, really messy here. One of the things with it, this is a sleeping bag here. This coat I love so much. I think I have to wash it though. Oh, this backpack is not does not hold enough to go traveling with. This leather backpack is again about holds about the same capacity. But one of the things that concerns me is occasionally the zippers get all wonky on it. And you know how you think you've broken a zipper, and you certainly the last thing you want to do is break a zipper on luggage. You know, can you imagine having zippers open up on a backpack and have your clothes fall out on a dirty city street someplace or on a filthy carpet someplace? You know, so that's the thing that I'm worried about with that leather backpack. So plus the fact that it really doesn't hold much. I am thinking about getting a steel backpack like I carried when I was in San Francisco. It's the kind that the people that ride the rails will carry. They're the kind that you can actually mount your sleeping bag on the back. And even though it makes you look like you're either a backpacker or potentially a homeless person, but they're sturdy and your backpacks hold a lot of clothes and stuff. And if you're out there and you see, it's hard for me to pack light, especially when, because I like to wear clothes. Okay. And since I'm a content creator, I like to have different clothes with different videos and stuff. And I'm doing, even if I'm going to be taking care of business, I want to be making videos all the time. So that means I need to have lots of outfits. So I need to have a backpack that has room for all the clothes that I want to take. And I figure if the weather's beautiful, then I can wear a lot of lightweight things. So I can wear separates that aren't going to be difficult to wash by hand because I'm still going to be doing probably laundry the same way I'm doing it, except where I'm going to be doing it, I have no idea because I don't have my housing figured out yet. A few people just now, a few California people are starting to figure out that I'm headed their way. But I don't want people to think that I'm going to show up on their floors expecting them to put me up. Now, if they want to, that's another story. But, I'm not going to, my friends who I'm still in touch with, most of them are dealing with a lot of personal issues right now. Their plates are full. When you're dealing with people who have health issues, they're not going to necessarily have time to put me up, but it would be nice if they could, but can't count on that. I just know that I need to get rid of a lot of stuff in my storage just so I could put everything into one. That make things much more affordable. And then I will definitely go to the Hare Krishna temple and definitely want to see everybody I can, but I really need to go to the storage right away. I mean, something like, because it needs to hold more than that Pittsburgh Pirates thing that I was showing before, but not as big as this huge heavy thing either. Hold on. I don't want to be wearing the same thing in all my videos. I'm going to show, because I'm thinking 2 weeks to do this thing and then a week for shenanigans after. Okay. Let me set this. Let's see. Okay, this is Pittsburgh Pirates thing here. This doesn't even have underwear and stockings in it. Okay. Now, where do I? Now, I want you to see this is a size comparison. Oh, this doesn't even do justice to how much. See? And I wish you could feel this doesn't, this is really not much. But carrying this around, let's just say it's not comfortable. Now, it has a couple wheels on it, but this, what's in that is just as I bag up in giant, big, uh, Ziploc bags. I put clothes in categories like, say, uh, little t-shirts or something, or say, okay, this is Christmas stuff, and I'll stick these Ziploc bags, which are ostensibly keep critters out. Danielle, please make an A. What? Ooh. I'm interrupting myself because I'm trying to listen. So, okay, please make an A. What's an A? Okay, I'm gonna put this back up here. Well, one of the things I'm expecting in the mail, I'm expecting more hair dye. I'm expecting more beads. I'm not going to rebead my hair until I get some more beads. 'Cause I'm still not sure. Oh, Amazon wish list. Oh, now what's up with those things? I guess you have to actually look first, and because I would want to go and get things, because I know that people have a lot of things on Amazon, but one of my biggest critiques about Amazon is they're not always the most inexpensive. And that's the thing, is that I'm a very serious stickler for hunting bargains and things. That's how when I discovered Wish, and then I discovered Temu, and then then I stopped buying on Wish because I was tired of buying shipping all the time. And now they're saying when you spend $10, you get this $2.99 shipping. And when I got all this tech and this stuff, that when I get it, I'll show you. Again, nothing was really a luxury. One little necklace was maybe a luxury because it was a seal for Mercury. It was like a witchy thing, and I work with Mercury a lot. Mercury governs computers, Mercury governs communication, Mercury governs travel. Mercury is a very useful, all purpose planet that works with everything that we need in life. So, I thought that was worth it. Okay. Oh, I wanted to show you a shirt that I scrounged the other day. Hold on a second. Okay. Look what I found. Isn't this cute? And my mother had the nerve to tell me that there's no way it would fit. It's a children's shirt. Hello. Yes, you're damn right. It's gotta fit. It's a company is estimated or established 1989 place. You guys know, and especially you people with kids, do you know anything about this company? I wear a lot of their shirts because they fit. Adult size small rarely fits. I mean, yes, obviously I have some adult clothes. This is a kitty. This top is too big unless I tie the crap out of it. Anyway, I saw this and I thought how wonderful. You can never have too much of uh um okay, I'm gonna take this. What was Oh, did I knock? What did I knock over? Oh, what did I knock on the floor? Okay. All right. This is usually where I put it on this back wall. And for reference of size. You know how people would have things on desktops that actually cover a desk and it would go like this and like this. You know what? I think I have something that was an old one that was rolled up. Let me show you. Okay, here we go. Here's what we're talking about. Get this on here. That's not helping me. No, whiteboards you have to erase. They're not a permanent thing. See what I do when I do the year? You know what I ended up doing? I turned it inside out because you could see through a little bit. Recreated the year. I wrote things. What I like about these is you have enough room. Say I batch record 6 videos. Okay. I can make a note of this in a different color pen. Okay. But say I post a video. So I could post the video in a certain ink. When I still had a posting schedule, it was 3 days a week. It was Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And of course, I would write it down. So all these would be, and I would get ideas for subjects. I would maybe put them underneath here. And then also, there's space here to write passwords in sometimes, or plan video ideas. Sometimes that would go in the space underneath. Especially you have all this extra room here. You see how I did all this advanced planning of things? You could do so much with these ideas here, concepts. Say I know that I want to do a month that I want to have. I'm thinking certain themes are going to come up because a holiday is going to come up. So they give me a nice big visual. And I can have this, and for the most part, I wouldn't be taking that with me, right? And then meanwhile, you can use something smaller that you could, like when I'm in California, I like to take a normal size uh, calendar and I'll carry that with me and I'll just fold it in half and I'll put that in like my day timer. I would carry them for a while, but the thing is, even though they're nice and purse friendly, because they're not tall, but they're fat, because they have all these pages of things. And so that's the thing, is that they take uh guys, you know. And now people are starting to guilt trip me saying that I shouldn't leave my mother behind. And the thing is, I'm going to be worried about her for the time because I have to make 2 trips. I got to go out there to deal with my storage. Then I kind of come back out here. Then I got to save up to deal with that, get that bus. Because say I buy the bus. When I buy the bus, then I'm going to have to work on it. And I would like to ideally live where I could work on it right next door. Like say I live someplace and I had it on my front yard or on the side, assuming there wasn't some kind of an ordinance that it made it look ugly and I would get in trouble. Like here, I couldn't get away with doing it because code enforcement. They ticketed the house next door that one half of it's a duplex and one half of it's a nice Spanish family, and the other half of it is basically a squat that a series of people have used to sleep in, which I don't fault anybody's sleeping places. I'm an old squatter myself, but you don't. When I lived in those places, I lived in it, which was in San Francisco. I didn't leave litter there. I sure as hell didn't leave pipes, crack, needles, anything like that. I didn't even leave my marijuana stuff. I didn't leave messes. I didn't leave toilet paper there. And I lived in a spot that I was there long, that I know somebody that set a coffee maker slash, it was a combination coffee maker espresso machine. I got really into espresso when I lived in San Francisco because they have these little bars that only they don't have mixed drinks. And see, I never liked beer, and wine was usually too bitter for me. I like the mixed drinks, a cocktail like cosmopolitans, Long Island iced teas, the fancy stuff is what I liked. And if you had a bar that only had wine and beer, uh, sometimes then they would have coffee. So I discovered the coffee shops, and because I was still messing around with crystal meth at the time, so I didn't mind staying up all night drinking good coffee. And good coffee in San Francisco, come on. But then again, now it's hard not to find good coffee in most places you're in because really, speaking as an American, we have a lot of good coffee companies. And my mother, she loves good coffee. And one thing I could say for the other person that I live with, who happens to be my brother, he leaves town and he gets to stay in these nice hotel rooms where he gets to shower and take baths and gets the hot tubs and all that stuff. Okay, whatever. Nice work. Get it. Wish you could pay me the money you owe me, but hey, whatever. But he comes back and he brings these coffee packets. And so instead of my having to measure the two scoops and put them in the basket and do all of that, you take these packets and you put them in the carafe. You let the water pour in, you let it steep. And but my mother will not go to California with me. Has no interest in this at all. And the thing is, she really she doesn't have the energy to walk around. She is so weak. She's so tired. She's little in bed all the time. She watches TV all the time, except she sleeps more in the daytime than she does at night. That's why, I'd be up in the wee hours doing laundry and stuff, going back and forth in her room. It didn't bother her because she'd be up watching whatever, old cowboy movies, the country and western stuff. When you have cable TV, you literally have so much good TV to watch. That's the one thing that I'm gonna miss when I finally have to leave here. If I'm not in a place that has cable, because unless I get into a really groovy roommate situation with a bunch of people, but they're gonna have to be artist types. They're gonna have to be people that understand that if I don't have to have a schedule, that's one thing. But if I start having to be up early because I have to be at a movie set at 6 o'clock in the morning, when something like that happens in my life, boy, I turn into pro mode quick. I take my showbiz career very seriously because uh, respect and reputation is everything. It's a very small world. You can't get a reputation for being fuck up on the screen when you're working, even behind the scenes. You're dealing with major motion picture studios and the big budgets they have, they can't afford to have people on the set that are going to be irresponsible, that are going to up their insurance premiums, that are going to cause things to take longer time and go over budget. They cannot associate with people like that. It's important to be honorable and have good reputation. It really is. So, oh man, I miss my old life. Let me find. I think I may need to get my scissors out there because I think I might need so that I can smoke a little bit more weed. I'll be right back. Plus, I think I might need to take a one of those pills. God, I caught at least. I found a box that had a bunch of had a bunch of mice in it on the kitchen table, and I literally dumped them into this. Tomorrow, I get to release another mouse. I'm sorry. I love these little guys. I love these. Do you want to see? You see a little guy? Well, actually, you know what? There's a lot of trash in here. I'm going to take the trash out. Oh, oh, oh my goodness. Oh, 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 you want to see the cutest thing? Oh, you want to see the cutest thing? Look at this. He's in here. Look. You see? You see the mousey? Oh, I won't hurt you, baby. I won't hurt you. He's probably so scared. Probably so scared. Oh my goodness. And you know what? You know what I should do? I should take the trash out of here first. Because when I finally release him, otherwise all this trash is going to get on the beach and I don't litter. So let me take this stuff out. I should probably be using rubber gloves, but you know what? Oh, whoops. Oh boy. I don't want him to jump out. I want to, okay, let me hit a trash thing. I believe it. I get to save another mouse. Oh, I love them. I can't help it. I can't help it. You keep watching my videos and you will see some more of this content. For a while there, I was worried that there's people that were getting tired of hearing, uh, yeah, because I found some spots that seem to be really uh, good. Okay, another thing is I don't want them to be able to climb out. Uh, oh, thank you. You see how I added this to give this a different look? Okay, now I'm going to hope that our little friend doesn't successfully jump out. Oh, all right. He's a real good jumper. I'm going to have to do what I did with the last one, and I'm going to have to very carefully, obviously, keep some air here, but have this and hope that he doesn't jump up and uh oh, he's so cute. You know, I can't. You're adorable. I love him. And I tell my mom that she's gonna be mad. She's gonna yell at me. Okay. When you hear my mom yell at me, follow me. Okay. Wait for somebody to get in the shower who's wearing a towel at the moment. And mom, I found a bunch of mice in a shoebox on the table up, where the Christmas tree used to be. So I found my bucket, started to dump them into the bucket. So anyway, I caught at least one mouse, maybe two, and I'm trying to take some of the trash out without so that they don't have something to climb on. So anyway, I get to release them tomorrow morning. Yeah, it's full of condiments that the mice have been eating. So anyway, I'm gonna rehome a mouse tomorrow morning. Just thought you'd like to know. Oh yeah, yelled him. I just screamed at him and oh. I don't know, but anyway. Anyway, just thought you'd like to know. She wants to know how many mice were in the shoebox. Um, let's see the shoebox. This is the shoebox. Okay. I want to catch some more mice. Right now, that bucket. You see, I know it's not. We put squeeze through there, but still, because you want them to be able to breathe. One thing I know, there's plenty of food there, but that's the thing is, hear this? Close a little bit because I don't want you to be I have an earlier video where the mouse actually jumps up and you know, you never know when I'm gonna bring Garfield in here or something, and I would really hate for a casualty to happen. Okay, I found my scissors now. I'm gonna cut a piece of that thing so that I can smoke. Okay, I'm back. He's a real jumper. I just hope they starve to death. I hope they're smart enough to, so far when I release them, instead of going toward the sand dunes and where their best chance of food is, they go toward the ocean. And every time I set them up, that's what they do. They go scampering off in the exact opposite direction. And, you know, and granted, why should a mouse trust me? They have no reason, no evidence to know, except for the individual ones that I get out of a glue trap or something. Then that thing will witness that I am saving, obviously getting him unstuck and putting him someplace, even though he might not like the new place that I've taken him from an apartment where he likes the food sources that he has, and say I take him and release him out of the glue trap but into a garden, or say he runs across the street and ends up wherever. Maybe he found himself in another building with a similar situation, and then he's probably going to be hated and chased by people like my mother that beat him with brooms, or people that might catch him and torture him, or people will call the pest control who don't care what kind of suffering they put these creatures through. Now, occasionally you'll run into pest control people who will use more humane methods that supposedly don't leave poisons in them when they die, so that when animals eat them afterwards, they don't get killed. So many times these poisons hurt other wildlife like owls, street cats, other carnivores. They eat these rodents and then they get the poisons. But supposedly, well, at least that's the guy that is our main organ guy. His name is Josue. Well, I've never heard of the name Josue, but that is his name. It's not Jose, it's Josue. And very nice person, and seems to not have that sadistic streak that some pest control people can have. Debbie says, I've got my kitten here demanding my attention. I have to give her sub Q fluids. I love her so much. Oh, is that intravenous? Because that's subcutaneous. I know that part of the body. I've given insulin shots to a diabetic cat before. And as far as the subcutaneous fat level, I had cellulitis one time, and that's really weird. When you have that, it's like blood poisoning. You squeeze your body and it stays where you put your finger. The indentation stays for like a second or two, and it's the weirdest thing. uh I'm really thinking the next time I have a cat in my life, I would like to have a cushion of some thousands of dollars so that I will be able to give medical tests. I'm always reading on Facebook and different things about people spend so much money on veterinarian visits. And my last three cats, I don't want to say they suffered, but they died. I'm not sure necessarily of what. We did not have the financial wherewithal to get them any kind of treatment. I was not about to go and say, you know what, I'm going to take a couple $100 to just, take it to a doctor to have them put to sleep. First of all, I think that's morally wrong. Second of all, if I didn't have the wherewithal to give them treatments, am I going to spend money on killing them? I don't think that's right. I wouldn't take my mom to Canada to have her put down. She's got aches and pains. I don't feel right with doing that. And I know that everybody who's had to put a suffering animal down, I'm probably, it's like I'm putting a spear in your side, and I don't mean to do that. I'm just saying, one time I damaged a friendship, and I didn't mean to do this. To this day, I feel guilty about this. She, like many people, has gone through loss and gone through people, loved ones with who die, loved ones have medical problems, and she was making a comment about taking her animals to the veterinarian and stuff. And I made some kind of sarcastic comment, which I wish I could take back. And it was kind of like nice to get her, or I said it was a luxury or something. It seemed like it was really cruel when I said it. When I was really, it was more a statement about how I felt bad that I wasn't able to afford medical care for my cats, who I love very much. And it came across, I guess, as cruel to her, and she stopped talking to me and stuff. And I didn't mean to be mean. That was not my intention. It was more talking about how, because veterinarian services are so expensive, it's very hard for people who aren't close to middle class to afford things. And just to get some diagnostic tests for a cat who's like off his feed, that could be $1,400 there. If you're getting, say, some X-rays, and then to test for blood levels of this and that, whatever. It's hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And it's so much money. And even if you get insurance, I know they have pet insurance now, which I thought, what a wonderful thing to do. But when I think about how if I'm having a hard time, I can't afford my storage rent in Los Angeles because it's like, what is it? Last I heard, it's like 140 something dollars for the 2 units each month. Might be more. I don't know. It's ridiculous. And if I'm having a hard time paying that, then the idea of paying other bills, that's why I don't, another reason why I don't have a cell phone. The getting the device is all well and good. Then you have to get the airtime. And these Obama phones I was never able to get because my the other person that lives here, he got them. And then they say, oh, somebody in your household already has this. And it's like, hello, there's so many people that live here. It's anyway. All right, let me get light on this. Oh my nose. I started. Never did get on the weed, but I'll get on that now. Watch my mouse for me. Anyway, I understand what you're saying though. Your kidneys were deeply loved. That's thank you for saying that because there have been some people that were critical of how I handled the last couple of months and said that I neglected them. One woman went so far, she claimed that she knew me when I lived in Los Angeles. She went so far as to say that if she knew me and she knew me when my cats were dying and I was filming all that stuff, which part of why I was filming so much was I was wanting to document that. And plus, if I did get a hold of a veterinarian, I could show them the footage and they could give me some ideas. There are so many reasons why. Anyway, she said that I was basically neglecting them and letting them suffer, and she would report me and make it so that I could never own an animal again. That's what she said. And the proof is in the comment that she left in one of the videos about my cat, about Tabby Boy's dying. Before he died, one of the later videos when he was losing weight and I was trying to get him to eat stuff. That was not a fun experience. We were all, even the person that I live with who I don't get along with, even he loved those cats. Even he felt bad about them. And when I lost my Amazon Fire tablet, again, I have $100 that I will give you in any way that you want. Crisp $100 bill, um, coins, small bills, whatever. If you can present to me the Amazon Fire tablet that is mine, it has 128 gigabyte chip in it. It has obviously loads of pictures of me in it and my cats that are dead now. It has pictures of my mom in it. It has things that are obviously existing YouTube videos, but it has a lot of footage that nobody ever saw. I never got to post to Facebook. Pictures of Cassie with a kitchen knife that she found and she moved in a bunch of different positions. And I never posted it because I thought it might be seen in poor taste because, weapons, woohoo, Facebook. woohoo, you might be inciting violence, or what are you actually saying here, or whatever. Facebook is a little funny little bird. So I never posted that series of shots. And now my cats are dead. And now the tablet's gone. And when you think they say that they sell all these things, somebody tries to sell something for $10 for whatever. I said, dude, you make the fastest 100 you ever made. Give me my tablet with my precious cat pictures. What do people save if a tornado is going to hit your house? You grab your money, you grab your loved ones, and you grab your pictures. Am I right? So if you have a device that's loaded of pictures of your pets, you're going to grab that. If you got a computer, you're going to grab that. If you got a bag that has flash drives full of pictures and stuff, you're going to grab that. These are the important things. The stuff that I have in storage, and there I was thinking I could keep my storage and I could send things back and forth here, but no, I'm going to be shipping some things back here, which seems counterintuitive because I feel like things are going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But like for instance, I have some guitar parts that I am going to, I guess, be shipping back here. And of course, that's going to be fun. My mother's just going to be saving these packages for me. Okay, it is now exactly 3 hours and 27 minutes. Uh, I should put this back on the charger. Oh yeah, a friend of my mother gave her this for us. Stevia and the Ross, big huge box of it. And any kind of stevia I've ever tried is bitter. I don't understand how this is a sweetener. I don't understand why people like this. I don't understand it. I have a very large thing. It was not even open before I opened it. It's this stuff. Anybody wants any, let me know. Oh, anybody wants to buy this sign, let me know. A couple of days ago, I think it was when I was doing the live stream before the Academy Awards, I believe somebody expressed interest in that sign. Yes, I do want to sell it. It's kind of heavy from moving all the time. And well, Debbie, thank you for showing up. This was kind of a spur of the moment thing to come on today. But I figured part of it was I wanted to go on out of spite when that church was acting up. But I like to use live stream as another way of connecting with people. So thank you for stopping by, Debbie. Thanks so much. And rest of you, I don't know how much longer I'm going to do this. Give one more look at our mousey here. And if you're curious about what this book is, it's a Dale Carnegie book, How to Stop Worrying and How to Start Living. So it's not a book that I want to desecrate, even though the binding is not in good condition. Uh, I think I showed this in my last live stream, didn't I? This is something very special to me. Once a year, LA Weekly has an episode called The Best Of. And as you can tell, it's a big, thick, bound magazine. And this was from 2005 or 2006. 2005. But this is a snapshot of what Los Angeles was like in 2005. And one of the other things that's special about this has a lot of people reminiscing about their circumstances behind when they first came to California. They first came to Los Angeles. And it's basically a love letter to Los Angeles. And it shows also the advertising of the day. And if you love the area, it will make you This was when, okay, for instance, the only marijuana dispensaries were medical. And of course, this seemed a world away because they were very strict with the medical. It was basically cancers, HIV, AIDS, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, the big things. Now, I understand now it's so much easier to qualify for medical because, first of all, why people still are getting medical in fully legal states, I'm not sure, but I understand that there are advantages to getting a medical card, even if you're in a fully legal state. And like, say you have something that's pretty minor as far as medical fees go. Like, say it's the aches and pains of arthritis that if you're lucky and you live long enough, everybody tends to get. I don't know. I don't know too many people that get a certain age and don't get arthritis. I got a touch of it myself. But if I can use that as an excuse to have a medical card, that'd be groovy. Here, I understand in New Jersey, they're going to have this thing where they allow you to self certify for medical. How that enables you to actually buy it, I don't know. But the other person I live with, he has a medical card. And it's expensive too. You pay like $100 each year just for the card. And you go in the dispensaries and shit's expensive. You know, last time I bought, we I bought an eighth for $40 around my birthday. That's in November. You know how long ago? So no, I don't go wasting my money on a high. They always seal up our trash cans on the boardwalk with in saran wrap and put these in them because an open trash can could be a target for miscreancy. Uh, Maybe I'll go play my guitar tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon, and I'm so hoping I'm so hoping that I don't get messed with by the cops. If I can avoid breaking a guitar string and avoid getting jacked by cops, it'd be so nice to try to make some coin out there. But the first thing I gotta do in the morning when I wake up, I gotta put some makeup on and put sunblock on, put some makeup on, and release the mouse. And as far as I know, that's the only mouse that's in there. But then I'm gonna have to pick up any trash that also gets dumped out there. See, so that's going to be what the start of my day is. But it really would be nice to play guitar because I'm hardly ever playing anymore. I mean, my calluses are practically gone. It's going to hurt now. You know, part of it is what happens when I break a string. Even having strings doesn't matter if changing them is an issue. And yes, I can go to Pleasantville and have the guitar tech put them on. But you know, funny. He hasn't talked to me. That's artistry. You know, once he found out that I was into witchcraft, woo-hoo, you know, and I was upfront about that. I don't necessarily get a billboard out about it, but I don't feel I should need to hide it, especially when so many other people are being very, very outspoken about what they're into, and they're wearing crosses that are so big it would blind you, like Laura Ingraham does. You know, and it's her right to express she has something that she believes in that she wishes everybody to get on board with, and I can understand that she's in a on a network that embraces the flaunting of such things. And I'm sure she's probably thinking she's glad that she lives in a world and in a place where she is safe to share that. And she is in, I guess, the dominant paradigm, so it's safe. But if she was real big into witchcraft, I don't think that she would be wearing a pentagram on Fox News Channel, you know. And if I did find a network that was great for witches flaunting their stuff, they probably wouldn't like the Trumpers. So there you had it. Okay, my son, this is a really, really screwing with me. I think I'm going to take another one of those pills and maybe make another pot of coffee, but this time it'll be decaf. It is 12:14 a.m., so it is the witching hour. Oh no. All right. Yeah. It is the witching hour. I made this myself. Not picking it up for any reason except to say it is the witching hour. So I'm gonna. Oh, and I will show you my pyramid. And I'm gonna bid you guys a good night. Be safe. And I will have a video for you sometime tomorrow. I'm guessing maybe around 3 in the afternoon or something like that. Okay. But of course, I don't know when I'm going to be playing guitar. But anyway, you'll see me on video tomorrow. So please be safe, everybody. Good night.